What's up, Steeler Nation? I'm Tommy Jaggi of Steel Curtain, and I am joined today by All-Pro Special Teams player Miles Killebrew. Miles, how's it going today?
Great, man. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you being here. I want to talk to you about a cause that's near and dear to you right now. You have partnered with My Cause, My Cleats. Explain your partnership.
Well, this partnership this year, this is something that kind of I feel like was a match made in heaven. Um, I'm partnered with Café Momentum, and I got to tell you, when I didn't realize when I first got to Pittsburgh that this was actually an organization that the Steelers were funding from like the very beginning, the brick and mortar in Pittsburgh. I didn't know that, and so I had the opportunity for a close friend of mine, Sean Alexander. He flew me out to KC for the Super Bowl a couple years back, and we're at dinner, and I knew it was a fundraiser, but I didn't really know what the cause was. And all of a sudden, I'm like, man, this food is amazing. The servers are so nice. And long story short, the reveal was that this was Cafe Momentum, and hey, everybody involved, from the chefs in the back to the servers, were actually youth who were exiting the criminal justice system. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And they spoke about everything that they were into and everything that they're trying to do. And I said, man, I gotta see about getting this in Pittsburgh. And so then it was explained that, hey, we're already in Pittsburgh. And so when I got back to Pittsburgh, I wanted to find out everything I could. And dude, I got to tell you, it is amazing what they are doing, man. It is unreal how they are just pumping life and energy and reform into the lives of these youth. And they're doing a great job. So I'm really happy to represent them. I'm excited to see what they're doing, and I am honored to be even associated with them.
Yeah, that's incredible, Miles, and what a cause. What is the design on your cleats? Because I haven't seen them yet.
They're pretty sweet, man. They actually pumped out a couple of different designs for me. One of which is kind of like this gold, and it has the Cafe Momentum logo on it. I think they're going to be super sweet. I can't wait to sport them. I say they pumped out a couple because I was able to actually gift a pair to one of the participants, one of the mentors in the program, and I, dude, it's so cool. I can't wait to get out there, man, because I've said it before. They have me quoted as saying it, and I really do mean it. Just the wasted potential is such a tragedy.
Mhm.
And, I want to make sure that I do my part in making sure it doesn't exist in Pittsburgh. And I know that Cafe Momentum's doing a bang up job at it, man. They're changing the lives of these kids. And it's a cool thing to see.
Oh, that's awesome. So Steelers fans, keep your eyes out for those and check out Cafe Momentum. It sounds like a great cause. Miles, you were selected to be the Steelers team captain for the third year in a row. Like, how do you reach the point where you earn the utmost respect of your teammates to be voted captain every year?
Um, well, it's an honor, first of all. It's an honor. I I've said it before. I don't take it for granted, but I understand that it comes with a implied responsibility. You know, I know that the Pittsburgh Steelers are steeped in tradition. I know that there's a long, it goes way back, right? How long that tradition is, and that comes with an expectation of who you are as a Pittsburgh Steeler. And so, not only am I trying my absolute best to be intertwined in the community, which I think that goes hand in hand with being a Steeler, but I want to be someone who does things the right way, and that players feel like I'm not just some guy chasing stats or, only worried about myself. Like, I want to be an empowerer. I want to be someone who encourages the guys around me, and um and it's genuine. I can say that that's really how I feel in my old age, if you will. I
Yeah, well, it
definitely
definitely shows.
as well.
It shows from everything that you do on the field and from every time I've heard you speak off the field, and so that's always great to see. not only are you recognized by your team for the third straight, earning the captain for the third straight time, you were recognized by the league for earning Pro Bowl and first team All Pro honors for your special teams ability in 2023. How did that make you feel?
And it's unreal. You know, I didn't know what to say. I still don't. Other than I owe a lot, obviously, to my teammates and to Danny Smith. You know, going to work with him and listening to he has so many stories, man. His stories are awesome, but he takes his job so serious, and he watches more film than I think anyone does in the NFL. He says, "I got no hobbies, man. This is all I do." And so I owe a lot to him and my teammates. And you know, we all have our hands in the pile. And if nothing else, I want to be an example to some of the younger players of what can be accomplished. And so I press on, and I want to go all the way to the top, man. I want to go all the way to Super Bowl. I want to win a ring. I want to block a punt in the Super Bowl. I don't care. I want to do it all, because then that way every single person on the team, even guys who are not yet Pittsburgh Steelers, will know, hey, Pittsburgh Steelers, you can do it. You can do anything.
And your special teams unit has just been killer this year. Everything from the kicking to the kick coverage to blocking kicks. And so it's been fantastic. You bring up Danny Smith. And so, I mean, the guy is impossible to miss. You watch a broadcast of a Steelers game, they're going to show him chewing his big wad of gum over there on the sideline. What's it like to work with him? And do you have a favorite Danny Smith moment?
A favorite Danny Smith moment? What's it like to work with him? I guess I'll start with that. You know, people may not realize, maybe they will if they're, you know, you kind of get a sense of it if you watch Hard Knocks maybe this year, but we have a lot of meetings. We have a lot of meetings in the NFL. That's probably, we meet more than most Fortune 500 companies, I'm sure. Like we are there for a lot of hours meeting. And I know what a common question might be. What are you meeting about? You know, there's only so much you can go over. You have absolutely no idea how much you can go over. There's so many details in film that you can watch it all day. And so Danny Smith has an art of making it really unpredictable what you're going to get. So you go into a Danny Smith meeting and, yep, we're going to go over our assignments and stuff, but we might talk about someone he ran into at the gas station who brought up some crazy stat and how that means absolutely nothing because that guy doesn't even know, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to go back to that gas station. I'm going to tell him as soon as we block a punt, I'm going to tell him, you know, blah, blah. And he just goes on these tangents that are absolutely hilarious that somehow tie in. Sometimes they don't. And you just never know. And so he has an art of making what can be mundane, very exciting and unpredictable. So I love it. I think it's awesome. I hope he never changes.
That's awesome. And I feel like he would be a fun guy to work with. To pat you on the back again, you are the Steelers nominee for the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Player of the Year. How does that make you feel? I mean, they choose one guy from each team. Cam was the Walter Payton Man of the Year last year. What would it feel like to be the sportsmanship, to win the Sportsmanship Award? I
mean, listen, to even be nominated is, again, awesome. So crazy. I respect the Rooney family tremendously. So to even be associated with anything with their namesake is an honor. And I think that it's very cool. I want to be known as a good sportsman. I want to be known as someone who has the best interest of the guys around me, and you know, all that while winning some games, huh?
I like it. You play with a lot of talented players on defense. We mentioned Cam, TJ Watt, former Defensive Player of the Year, maybe future Defensive Player of the Year. We'll see how that goes this year. Just guys from top of the bottom, defensive line to secondary. Who do you think is the most underrated player? If you want to answer that, underrated player that you play with.
Underrated player on our team right now?
Besides you, of course.
No, it sounds like I need to relax. I'm getting all these awards, dude. The last thing you want to be is overrated. Um, Underrated, that's tough. We have a lot of guys who are just doing great. I am always impressed. This is just from my perspective. I'm
Mhm.
always impressed by offensive players that can tackle in open space. And although Cam gets a lot of accolades, his brother Connor excels in that ability that he can run down on kickoff, defeat a block, and tackle a very elusive runner in these kick returners on kickoff. And he does it consistently. That is not an easy task. I don't know if people have seen a lot of like receivers and tight end types try to tackle. Usually it looks hilarious. Usually it looks like, a toddler trying to throw left-handed, right? It's usually bad. And he excels at it. And that's not something he has practiced in most of his adult life, which is actually really incredible. And so I would say that he's very underrated. I would say that our gunner core is very underrated in both
Mhm.
Ben and JP. I'm not talking about his receiving skills. I'm just saying as far as gunner play, he's very underrated. And I could go on and
Mm.
on with my unit, man. I'm really proud of my guys. I love Dirty Red. I think he is uh, a crucial piece of leadership on our special teams core. I love CP again for the same reason. He's just my whole unit. I'm excited to go to work every day.
That's awesome. You mentioned Connor. I want to ask you about another tight end, Darnell Washington. I mean, this is a really big guy. Have you been matched up against him in practice? What is it like trying
Yes.
to shed a block from him, cover him?
Ugh. When they flex him out on the yard to go in the red zone, and they're like, "Hey," then they throw it up to him on a fade ball. It's like, dude, you better either have a prayer or a ladder to try to defend that. I mean, there's very few answers for that. And so, yeah, it's fun to watch him catch the ball out, in the flats and turn up, and the DB or whoever's out there have to make a business decision on how to tackle him. Yeah, it's all that always happens at least once or twice in the game, and it's usually a really exciting point, at least for me to watch to see. Man, I wonder how this guy's going to try to tackle this guy. It's usually a pretty funny sight.
Yeah, he's interesting. You don't see a lot of guys like him that can go down the seam like that either. What is one career goal, Miles, that you still have right now?
No, Super Bowl, easy.
Mm.
We need to win a Super Bowl. I want to see us win a Super Bowl. I want it selfishly. I want to have a Super Bowl ring, but being around the Steelers for any length of time, you start to understand, man, I want to see Cam Heyward get a ring. I want to see TJ Watt. We
Mm.
are playing with some of the most incredible players to have ever come through this game, and it would be absolutely criminal if we don't get a ring to put on those fingers, man. So I definitely want to see that come to Pittsburgh in my tenure while I'm here. I want to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And you guys feel like you're real contenders this year. I mean, you're right up there with the best of them. Um, what's it like to be the first player down the field on kick coverage? You stop a guy dead in his tracks. You did it twice in Week 13 against the Bengals. Describe that.
I I love it. You know, that's why I'm still doing it. I love it. I think it besides paying the bills, I think it's one of the greatest joys that I've experienced playing this sport. I think that, being able to cover a kick, Danny has this thing where he says you can measure a cover man's worth by his proximity to the ball when the tackle is made. And I try to be as close as I can to that ball when that whistle's blown. And so to be able to get it twice in a game, as you said, um,
Mm.
is exciting.
Well, Miles, I appreciate you taking the time today with my cause, my cleats. Tell us about your cause one more time.
Sure. One more time, Cafe Momentum, award-winning national nonprofit restaurant staffed almost entirely by justice-involved youth. They have a brick and mortar, excuse me, in Pittsburgh, and they offer internships, culinary training, life skills, mental health support, education, job opportunities to the youth. And it's just in an effort to unlock their potential. And so that is something that is huge. If you want to get involved, if any of your listeners want to get involved, that's cafemomentum.org, www.cafemomentum.org, where you can directly get involved, or just go downtown and stop in for a meal. You'll definitely be pleasantly surprised.
Awesome, Miles. Well, I thank you. I appreciate you taking the time today.
Of course. Thank you.